I still remember the way the morning light fell across our kitchen table that day. I was pouring coffee into Mark's favorite mug, the blue one with the tiny chip on the handle, while he kissed my forehead like he had 1,000 times before. "Love you, Em," he said, voice warm, eyes soft. And I believed him. God, I believed him with every broken piece of my heart. My name is Emma, and for 12 years I thought I had the kind of love people write songs about. Mark was my safe place, the man who held me through my mother's illness, who cried with me when we lost our first pregnancy, who promised me forever while we danced barefoot in our living room to old jazz records. And Lisa. Lisa had been my sister in everything but blood since college. We met in freshman year, shared secrets, clothes, heartbreaks. She was the one who helped me pick my wedding dress, the one who stood beside me at the altar, tears in her eyes whispering, "You deserve this happiness." How could I have been so blind? It started with small things I ignored. Mark working late more often. Lisa suddenly canceling our coffee dates. The way they would both go quiet when I walked into a room. I told myself I was being paranoid. Marriage has seasons, I thought. Best friends drift sometimes. I even made excuses for them. But the universe has a cruel way of ripping the blindfold off. It was a rainy Tuesday. I had come home early from work because I wasn't feeling well. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Mark's car was in the driveway, but he wasn't downstairs. I climbed the stairs slowly, still carrying the grocery bag with the soup I thought would make him smile. That's when I heard it. Soft laughter. Then a moan that didn't belong in my home. I froze outside our bedroom door. The same bedroom where we had made love. Just 2 nights earlier. My hand was shaking so badly I could barely turn the knob. When I finally pushed it open, the world I knew shattered into a million pieces. There they were, my husband and my best friend, naked, tangled, in the bed where I had slept beside him for 12 years. Lisa's head snapped toward me, eyes wide with shock. Mark's face. I'll never forget the panic that flashed across it before he tried to speak. "Emma, baby, it's not—" "Don't," I whispered. My voice didn't even sound like mine. It was small, broken. The grocery bag slipped from my fingers and hit the floor with a dull thud. Soup spilled across the hardwood like blood. Lisa started crying, reaching for the sheet to cover herself. "Em, please, I'm so sorry. It just happened." Those words carved themselves into my soul. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I just stood there, staring at the 2 people I loved most in this world, feeling my heart physically tear apart inside my chest. 12 years of memories flooded me at once. Vacations, inside jokes, hospital waiting rooms, anniversary dinners. All of it poison now. All of it fake. I turned and walked away. Behind me, I heard Mark calling my name, his voice cracking with fear. But I kept walking, down the stairs, out the front door, into the pouring rain. I didn't even feel the water soaking through my clothes. All I felt was emptiness. A hollow, freezing void where my life used to be. The next few days were a blur of pain I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I stayed at my sister's house, curled up on her couch like a wounded animal. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them together. The images played on repeat in my mind until I thought I would lose my sanity. Mark called and texted nonstop. It was a mistake. I was weak. I love you, Emma. Only you. Lisa sent long messages full of tears and apologies. You're my family. I hate myself. Please forgive me. Forgive them? I wanted to burn the world down. But the worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was the realization that they had been carrying on for almost 8 months. 8 months of lies. 8 months of them meeting in our bed while I was at work, or at yoga, or visiting my sick mother. 8 months of stolen kisses and secret smiles behind my back. I hired a private investigator. Not for revenge, at least that's what I told myself. I just needed to know the truth. The photos he brought me were like knives to the chest. Pictures of them at hotels, holding hands in restaurants on the other side of town, even kissing in Mark's car in the parking lot of the very coffee shop where Lisa and I used to meet every Sunday. I cried until there were no tears left. Then something inside me shifted. The pain didn't disappear. It hardened into something colder. Something sharper. I stopped answering their calls. I sat in silence for days, replaying every moment of our marriage. Every time Lisa had hugged me a little too long, or Mark had checked his phone with that secret smile, I started gathering evidence. Quietly, screenshots, hotel, receipts the investigator found, Voice recordings I secretly made when they left desperate voicemails. I even found the texts, hundreds of them. After I finally unlocked Mark's old iPad with the password he thought I didn't know. I can't stop thinking about you. Every Emma doesn't understand me like you do. I wish I could wake up next to you every day. I printed them all. Every single one. My hands shook while I did it, but I didn't stop. The woman who once begged for their love was gone. In her place was someone I barely recognized. Someone with fire in her veins. I planned everything carefully. Her eyes. I wanted them to feel even a fraction of the humiliation they had given me. 2 weeks later, I invited both of them to our house under false pretenses. Mark thought we were going to talk about reconciliation. Lisa thought I was ready to forgive her. I set the dining table beautifully. Candles.
Wine. The china we got for our wedding.
When they arrived, they looked relieved. They actually thought this was going to be easy. They sat down. I poured the wine. Then I slid the thick folder across the table. Open it, I said calmly. Mark's face went pale as he flipped through the pages. Lisa started sobbing before she even reached the second photo. I invited a few people, I continued. My voice steady even though my heart was racing. They should be here any minute. Their eyes widened in horror as cars began, pulling into the driveway. Our closest friends, Mark's parents, my sister, even Lisa's older brother. 22 people in total. The people who loved us, who celebrated with us, who trusted us. As they filed into the living room, I stood up and spoke clearly, without raising my voice. Today I wanted you all to know the truth. My husband and my best friend have been sleeping together for 8 months. In my bed, while I was planning our future, while I was loving them with everything I had. I played the recordings. I passed around the printed messages. I showed the photos on the large TV screen. The room was dead silent except for Lisa's broken sobs and Mark's weak attempts to explain. I watched their faces crumble as the people they respected looked at them with disgust and disappointment. Mark's mother stood up and walked out. Without saying a word, Lisa's brother looked at her like she was a stranger. Friends who had once called us goals shook their heads and left. I didn't yell. I didn't need to. The truth was louder than any scream I could have made. In the weeks that followed, their lives unraveled. Mark lost several clients who no longer trusted him. Lisa's reputation in our tight-knit social circle was destroyed. They both had to move out of the city to escape the shame. As for me, I sold the house. I started therapy. I began traveling alone, something I had always wanted to do but never dared. I learned to sit with my pain until it no longer controlled me. I discovered that the woman I was becoming was stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than the trusting girl I used to be. I won't lie and say it doesn't still hurt sometimes. Some nights I still cry for the life I lost. But I no longer cry for Mark or Lisa. I cry for the version of Emma, who loved too blindly. If you're listening to this and you're going through betrayal right now, hear me. Your pain is valid. Your anger is valid. But don't let them keep your power. Take it back. Quietly, dignified, completely. The best revenge isn't destruction. It's becoming the woman they could never break. I'm Emma. I was shattered. But I rose. And I'm finally truly free.